Hello friends, welcome to the 3D Adventure Creator tutorial. Let's get right into business. Okay, so let's open Unity Hub and click on New Project. I am going to be using editor version 2020.3.33 F1. Yeah, and I'm going to use 3D sample scene with the URP pre-installed. The version, it's like you could use any version, but it's probably easier to follow this tutorial if you have the same tutorial, same version, because different newer and older versions look a bit different. So I just used this, and that's fine. Let's name this project 3D Adventure Creator Tutorial. Yeah, create project. Now Unity will create this base for our project and we can get to work. While Unity is opening, you could go ahead and download the assets I've prepared for you. You can use these freely in any of your projects. I have made them personally, and you can use them in any project you might want, even commercially, I don't care. Just note that these are some of the first 3D assets I ever made, so they might not be perfect, and they are low poly, and the textures I've made, it's meant to be like pixelated like that, but if you want like that style, it's fine. But you could easily just change the textures of them, or you could go to Blender and edit the 3D assets or whatever you want to do with them. I have put the link in the description. It is an Unity package, you just need to download it. And now that the Unity project is open, we will, first things first, let's go into the scenes folder and create a new scene. And this will be our base _ scene. Just use your own naming conventions, that's fine. Open that scene, delete everything else from that folder. Choose example assets, materials, hold Ctrl while you choose many. We can choose grids, tutorial info and readme. Just delete all of those, you don't need them. You might want to also go to Package Manager. If you don't know where you can find it under Window and Package Manager. I have it put here. And just update everything that needs updating, so we are making sure that everything is up to date. If you use any other base or something that doesn't have the universal RP, you can also download and import it here. All the assets I've prepared are meant for universal RP in mind. If you don't have this, the assets might just look pink. I'm just updating all of these because sometimes the console might complain something that there is update for whatever, and it's annoying, so this is fine. Okay, let's import the assets we downloaded. I have the Kisuarts Adventure Creator 3D Tutorial Assets .unity package right here, just under 20 megabytes. Import it, just drag it in. Unity will prepare it, and it has an folder for materials. There's plenty. There's meshes, and those are categorized. Maybe not perfect, but it's something. We have a scenes folder with the preview scene, that's fine. I don't know why does it so. This file exists in project. Yeah, there's a scenes folder, no one cares. And there's textures. Not all of these textures and materials might be in use in these assets, but it's just something to give you like extra that you can change and move around. Let it import everything. There we go. We can see our meshes here. They are all textured and ready. Ready to use. There's a lot of items. Definitely not like everything you would ever need, but it's something to get you started. I probably will make more in the future, but you need to deal with these for now. There's plenty of materials and textures and everything. All the import settings should be the same that I set when I made the Unity package, so you don't need to worry about that. But when using pixelated assets, usually you should use filter mode, point filter, and with no compression. Okay, we can open the preview scene and it shows all the items that I have made for you to use. You can go in this scene and just hold right click on your mouse and move around and see what's there to use. There's plenty of different stuff, light sources and small items and plants and rocks and trees and modular wall pieces, some random objects, crates, a lot of different things for you to use, and again you can use this freely in any project you might want to. Okay, so these are the assets that we are going to use for now to build our project. It's not much, but it's something. Now that that's out of the way, we can go back into our base scene and let's prepare our adventure creator. Let's go back into the package manager, go to my assets. You need to have bought adventure creator for this, just so you know. It's usually, it's a lot of the times it's on sale, so just grab it when you can. Find adventure creator. It says re-download for me because I've already downloaded it. You can also update it here, but I'm just going to import. And here if you want to see what the 2D and 3D demos are like, you can see them, but we don't need them here. So just untick 2D demo and demo. Everything else you need, so click import. It will take a while, so bear with me. And when it's done, it tells you that it will do some changes. There you go. And now it says something here, problem detected. Just ignore those, it's nothing important. Go to Adventure Creator, Getting Started, and click on New Game Wizard. Here we will create start creating the game. Give your game a name. This is just a 3D AC tutorial. Great name for a game. Tutorial. Yes, I can also write. Tutorial. Next, we are going to make 3D game with first-person character controls. Next, context sensitive, it's fine. You can also always change these in the fly if you want later on. Default AC menus is great. Use that. And I think everything else should be fine. Finish. This will set up your settings as you have chosen here. And the process is complete. Would you like to organize scene? I would like to organize my scene, yes. So it gives you all these folders to work with. I will always move my main camera to the cameras folder. And close that. AC game editor here, move it over here. I have it here. Okay, let's see some of these settings. There's plenty of prefabs you can add here, but we will go through each of these later on. Okay, let's set up our scene. We don't need the default camera since we are going to be using first person character controller, and that means it has its own camera. We can have a default sound. That's something that you should always have. Settings. Okay, here I would show maybe on the saves time and date. These are like not as important, but I'm going to see what else I want to do. Lock cursor in scene center when game begins. That's something we want to have when the game begins, so we can move around correctly from the get-go. Hide cursor when locked in screen center. Yeah, that's probably something you want to. Dialogue options can be selected with number keys. Yeah, that's useful. Run conversations in first person. If true, then first person games will use the first person camera during conversations. I guess you could do this if like you're doing a first person game, but when you go into conversation, the game could change the camera to like show the people talking in the scene or something. Cache camera.main variable. It gives you a minor performance boost. And what else? You might want to change the array cast settings. Hotspot, nav mesh. We don't use nav meshes, but movable and hotspot array length. These are like I don't know, meters probably. Just put like 2 to them. Like you can interact with objects from 2 meters away with your character. If this is like in 100, you can interact with things very far away, and we don't want that. Always reload scene when loading a save file. I think this is something that you should do, because things might be different if you don't reload a scene when you load a save file when the character is in the same scene. I think that's everything we want. Show subtitles. That's probably something we want. It's the default. You should show your subtitles so you can actually see the text when someone's talking. Display subtitles forever until user skips it. Should probably do that too. For subtitles show, yes. Speech audio can be translated. We'll uncheck that since we won't be using translations. But that's an option, just so you know. Cursor, you can change your cursor here. We're not doing that here now. Let's uncheck this always show system cursor. It's annoying when you're trying to play test. We're not gonna go into menus just yet. Okay, let's create a very basic like a plane. Make it bigger by like 10. This is a plane we can move in. Let's put in a couple of our meshes, maybe some of these construction meshes. Like a couple arches and a brick wall. Now just remember, these are not perfect. I'm trying to remember how to move things around here now. Yeah, hold V and grab a corner and you can like put the vertices together. Make sure it's actually on top of the plane. Yeah, my plane is not centered. Here we go. Okay. We have this kind of arch here now. Yes, we can like use this to see that our character is actually like moving around. Usually for walls, I would create a physics material. We can find it here. And just with like no friction at all. That makes sure that our player won't get stuck to wall when you jump on it. And all of these want to use that physics material. Okay. Next thing's setting up our mouse movement so we can actually move our characters like view. Go into input manager, open that. It says that you should use the new system, input system, but like I don't want to use that. I don't know if it's conflicting with Adventure Creator or I just don't know really how to use it, but that's fine. Basically, I think you could just change mouse X and mouse Y. But then again, these are probably used by the system cursor, like move in the menus and everything. I'm not entirely sure, but let's make new. I'm just gonna copy the settings like 0.1 for the mouse. 0.1. This will be our. Let's remove the buttons. This will be, you can find the available inputs here. You need to use the same names as here. So this will be cursor horizontal. And this is going to be mouse movement on the x-axis. And this will be cursor vertical. And this will be mouse movement on the y-axis. That allows our character to look around, and it's quite important. We could also create run button. So this is again a key or mouse button. Let's just, I don't know how much these gravities and dead and insensitivities matter with the buttons, but I'm just going to use it anyway. 0.001. That's a dead zone for this button. Okay, and this will be our run button, and it needs to have a positive button. Let's put left shift. That's our run button, and this is just x-axis. I don't know if the axis matters with these buttons, but I always use. Hold on, did I? Debug. Yeah, that's just a thing. We don't need to worry about that. Yeah, key or mouse button. Yes. Now we have a run also. So let's go to Adventure Creator, Editor, Character Wizard. Press next, make a player, press next, and finish. There you go. You have a player now. The player will automatically go to the 0 positions. I think the size is great, but we want to change interpolate in the rigid body component to interpolate. Remove the talk and move speed floats. We don't need those just now. I think these are like for animations. Walk speed probably faster. Yeah, I think everything else should be fine. Let's see the first person camera then. I think I want to have more, like less of a constraint technically. If it's 90, the camera might flip around when you go all the way to look to the like sides or up and down, but if you have it less than 90, it should be fine. The head bob is a bit weird. The height change vector is a lot, and the speed, I don't know, it's a bit funky to work on. It's hard to set these settings in a way that you'd like them to be. Let's change the clipping planes on the near to 0.1. Post-processing you probably want to have on, since we might have some post-process effects in our game. I think everything else. You can change the field of view here, but I'm not gonna do that. Okay, let's go play. We have our character and we can move around. The character is quite slow, but we can run and we can jump and we can look around. So that's just what we wanted. The camera is a bit low perhaps for this character, so we can just move that up a bit. So it's at 1.5. I think I want it to be at least like 1.8. I think that's good. And collider should probably be like in a way that the camera can't actually like go inside walls. So make sure that's handled. The sensitivity is also for the mouse movement something that you might want to touch on. It's really bad right now, but you can quite easily fiddle around with that. I'm just gonna first change the character speed to be faster, like 5 and like 8 with the run. And I'm gonna make a prefab of the player and delete it from the scene. Go to AC, Game Editor, Settings, and put the player prefab on the player character settings player prefab. If we go to player settings and back into the input manager, we can see our cursor horizontal and vertical. We can change the sensitivities here. So the higher the value is, the faster your camera is going to move. So let's see. Okay, this is like better. I usually like it doesn't like go too fast. And now you can move around and jump, and that's great. And when you jump into a wall, you will fall down. If we wouldn't have the physics material, we would get stuck in midair when we walk, when we jump to the wall. Okay, let's create a prefabs folder. It's always good to have your stuff organized, and like physics materials folder for the physics material. This is like slide material because it's like there's no friction. These are like the very basic things we can do to get our character moving. I will see how much the head bob is actually like. It's not as easy to see because it's a very small value at this point, but it's quite slow. So I might want to use, now that we have a prefab, we have to select the character from here. Let's see. Height change speed factor could be a little bit faster, 1.2 maybe. Close the prefab, view and play. Running always makes it faster. Yeah, that's like, it's fine. It's not too bad of a head bob. Some people get like headache or whatever, get nauseous from head bobbing, so you could just turn it off if you want. But that's fine. Let's not focus too much on head bobbing. I think this is pretty good spot to stop the first tutorial. It's very like simplistic, but now we can move around and you could go and test all these items, build something with them, move around in your scene, and next time we will go to like interactions and something like that. Okay, that was the first part of this 3D Adventure Creator tutorial. Thanks for watching and until next time.